The first mistake men make is not being emotionally present. You can be sitting beside her, talking, even laughing. But if your energy is distracted, if your mind is elsewhere, she feels it. Women have an incredible emotional radar. She doesn't just hear your words, she senses your vibration. When you're not emotionally present, she starts to feel invisible. That's when disconnection begins, because for her, love is not measured in hours you spend, it's measured in how deeply you see her. The second mistake is invalidating her emotions. When she expresses something, frustration, sadness, fear, and you say, "You're overreacting," you've just told her that her emotional truth doesn't matter. And once a woman feels emotionally unsafe, she starts protecting her heart by withdrawing it. Understand this, her emotions are not an attack, they're an invitation to connect. When she opens up emotionally, she's not trying to fight, she's trying to be understood. The third mistake is giving without boundaries. Men often think love means sacrifice, giving up everything for her, but love without boundaries becomes weakness. If you give from a place of insecurity, hoping she'll love you more, you're actually teaching her to lose respect for you. A woman respects a man who can give without losing himself, who knows when to say no, and who protects his energy. The fourth mistake is losing your purpose. When you make her the center of your universe, you unconsciously push her away. A woman falls in love with your direction, your sense of self, your drive. The moment you abandon your purpose to please her, she feels the polarity shift. The attraction weakens. She doesn't want to be your world. She wants to walk beside a man who knows where he's going. The fifth mistake is inconsistency. You tell her she's special, but your actions say otherwise. You promise emotional honesty, but withdraw when things get deep. Women trust energy, not promises. They listen less to what you say and more to what they feel around you when your energy changes. When you go from warm to cold, open to distant, she instantly knows, because for her, emotional safety is everything. And finally, a woman blossoms under leadership, not control. She doesn't want to be dominated, she wants to be led with maturity, with direction, with emotional intelligence. A man who can hold space for her emotions, guide with confidence, and communicate truthfully, that's the man she'll never want to lose. So understand this, relationships don't fall apart because of lack of love, they fall apart because of lack of emotional awareness. The more you understand her psychology, the deeper your connection becomes. Because when a man evolves emotionally, a woman feels safe enough to surrender emotionally, and that's where real intimacy begins. When it comes to relationships, most men believe that their presence alone is enough to make a woman feel loved. They think showing up, paying attention occasionally, or spending time together is the essence of connection. But emotional presence goes far deeper than that. Emotional presence means being fully there, mentally, emotionally, energetically, in a way that allows a woman to feel seen, heard, and felt. A woman doesn't just notice what you do, she feels the energy behind it. You can say all the right words, buy her gifts, or even spend time with her, but if your heart and mind are disconnected, she feels the emptiness instantly. This is one of the most common, yet invisible mistakes men make in relationships, being physically present but emotionally absent. A woman connects through emotion. It's her native language, the way her heart understands love. When she talks about her feelings, her day, or her thoughts, she's not looking for a logical solution, she's seeking connection. But when a man listens half-heartedly, distracted by his phone, his stress, or his next plan, she subconsciously feels that he's not there with her. In that moment, she feels lonely, not because she's alone, but because the person she wants to feel connected to is emotionally unavailable. Over time, this emotional distance creates quiet resentment. She stops sharing, she stops reaching out, and eventually she stops trusting that you can understand her at all. Emotional presence is not about grand gestures, it's about subtle awareness. It's about the way you look at her when she speaks, how you listen without interrupting, how you make her feel like her emotions matter. It's the way your energy says, I'm here with you and I see you. When a woman feels that kind of presence, she opens up naturally, her feminine energy flows, she feels safe, expressive, and radiant. But when that emotional connection is missing, she starts protecting her emotions. She becomes quieter, colder, or even reactive, not because she's moody, but because she's trying to reach you in the only way she knows how. A woman's heart is sensitive to emotional disconnection the way your body is sensitive to physical cold. She feels when your energy withdraws, even if you're still sitting next to her. That's why she asks, "What's wrong?" or says, "You've changed." To a man, and those words might sound like complaints, but to her, they're cries for reconnection. She's not attacking you. She's trying to remind you that the relationship thrives on emotional presence, not mere proximity. And being emotionally present doesn't mean you have to fix her feelings. It means you have to feel with her. When she's sad, your presence should be steady. When she's anxious, your calmness should ground her. When she's joyful, your energy should mirror her excitement. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you emotionally intelligent. The men who know how to hold emotional space for a woman are the ones who build unshakable bonds. Because women don't remember every word you say, but they never forget how you made them feel. A man who is emotionally present listens beyond words. He listens to tone, energy, and emotion. He senses when her silence speaks louder than her sentences. He doesn't rush to give advice or correct her feelings. He validates them. He understands that validation doesn't mean agreement, it means acknowledgement. Saying, "I understand you feel that way," can sometimes be more powerful than 100 solutions. It tells her that her inner world matters to you. In contrast, when a man dismisses her emotions by saying, "You're overthinking," or "You're too sensitive," she feels unseen. That dismissal doesn't just shut down the conversation, it shuts down her trust. Because to a woman, being emotionally unseen is equivalent to being unloved. That's why she starts withdrawing emotionally or reacting intensely. Both are symptoms of unmet emotional connection. Emotional presence also means authenticity. You can't fake connection. A woman senses when your energy isn't aligned with your words. She feels when you're pretending to listen or emotionally numbing yourself to avoid discomfort. Presence requires vulnerability, being honest about what you feel even when it's uncomfortable. A woman feels safer with your truth than with your silence. She doesn't need perfection, she needs presence. Many men were never taught how to be emotionally present. They were taught to solve, to provide, to protect, but not to connect. Yet in relationships, connection is the foundation upon which everything else stands. You can't lead a woman emotionally if you can't first be with her emotionally. You can't expect her to open up if you're closed off. So the next time she's talking, try to feel her words rather than analyze them. Maintain eye contact, put down distractions, and be fully there. Ask yourself, am I really listening? Or am I waiting to respond? The difference may seem small, but for a woman, it's everything. She will remember how safe she felt in your presence. She will remember that you saw her, not just with your eyes, but with your energy. When you master emotional presence, you won't need to chase connection. It will naturally deepen. Because when a woman feels emotionally seen, she doesn't just fall in love with you, she trusts you. And that trust is the most powerful form of attraction. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, being here, being fully with her. That's the kind of presence that touches a woman's soul and makes her feel that she's with a man who truly understands her. Not just intellectually, but emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. And once she feels that, she will never forget you. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is misunderstanding what emotional presence truly means. Most men assume that if they are physically available, spend time together, or fulfill their responsibilities, that is enough for a woman to feel loved and connected. But emotional presence is something entirely different. It is not about simply being there. It is about how you are there. A woman can be sitting right next to you and still feel completely alone if your mind and energy are elsewhere. For a woman, love is felt in the quality of your attention, the warmth of your energy, and the depth of your understanding. It is not the hours you spend together that make her feel secure. It's the way you make her feel seen and understood in those moments. Emotional presence means being fully attuned to her when she shares her thoughts, feelings, and experiences. It's about listening beyond her words, sensing what she feels but cannot express, and making her feel that her emotions matter to you. When a woman speaks, she's not always seeking a solution. She's often seeking connection. If your response is logical, detached, or impatient, she will feel that you've missed the essence of her message. To her, that feels like rejection, not of her argument, but of her. This is why emotional absence can be more painful for a woman than physical distance. You can be sitting together every evening, yet if you're emotionally disconnected, she will slowly start feeling that something vital is missing. Many men unintentionally cause emotional disconnection because they approach emotions the way they approach problems. They try to fix them. But women don't want to be fixed. They want to be felt with. When she's expressing sadness or frustration, she doesn't need a lecture or a plan. She needs presence, your calm, grounded energy that tells her she is safe to express herself fully. When you try to fix her emotions, you communicate that her feelings are inconvenient or illogical. But when you stay emotionally present, even in the face of her intensity, you communicate love. You show her that her inner world matters to you just as much as your own. A woman's emotions are not chaos, they are connection points. Every time she shares what's on her heart, she's inviting you into her world. She's saying, "Can you hold space for me here?" When you turn away, minimize or rush her feelings, she learns that it's not safe to open up to you. Over time, she withdraws, she becomes quiet, and the emotional warmth that once defined your connection fades. What most men interpret as she's changed is often just a woman protecting her heart from feeling unseen. True emotional presence requires awareness. It means noticing when her tone changes, when her energy drops, when she's quieter than usual. It means putting down your phone, meeting her eyes, and giving her the gift of your undivided attention. A woman can instantly feel when you're distracted, just as she can feel when you're genuinely tuned in. She doesn't need you to say the perfect thing. She just needs to feel you there. Presence is felt through silence as much as through words. Sometimes it's the quiet understanding in your eyes, the small gesture of reassurance, or the patience in your energy that makes her feel deeply loved. Being emotionally present also means being authentic. You can't fake genuine connection. If you're trying to appear calm while suppressing irritation or boredom, she'll sense the mismatch. A woman's intuition picks up on emotional incongruence instantly. What she wants is honesty, not performance. If something's wrong, she'd rather hear your truth than feel your withdrawal. Emotional presence is built on emotional honesty, the courage to show up as your real self. When you share your own feelings openly, you create a space where she feels safe to do the same. This level of emotional connection doesn't come naturally to many men, not because they lack love, but because they were never taught emotional awareness. From a young age, men are conditioned to stay strong, fix problems, and avoid vulnerability. But emotional presence is strength of a different kind. It's the strength to stay grounded in emotion, not run from it. It takes maturity to hold space for someone else's feelings without losing your center. A woman respects a man who can do that. It tells her that he's emotionally secure, not afraid of depth, and capable of intimacy that goes beyond the surface. When you practice emotional presence, you start to notice subtle shifts in how she responds to you. She softens. She feels safe enough to express herself fully. She stops guarding her emotions because she trusts that you can handle them. She doesn't need perfection. She needs connection. Every time you give her your genuine attention, you're feeding the emotional bond that keeps love alive. Every time you ignore her emotional world, that bond weakens. Emotional presence also deepens attraction. Women are drawn to men who can make them feel understood. It's not just about confidence, looks, or status. It's about emotional depth. When a woman feels that you understand her without judgment, that you listen without interruption, and that your presence makes her feel grounded, she naturally feels more connected to you. That connection is what sustains love over time. It's what keeps the spark alive, even after the excitement of the early stages fades. Being emotionally present doesn't mean you have to be perfect or constantly available. It means that when you are with her, you are really with her. Your mind is not wandering to your work, your phone, or your next task. You're tuned into the moment, open, receptive, and real. That kind of presence is rare, and that's why it's powerful. When a woman feels emotionally seen, she relaxes into her feminine energy. She becomes more affectionate, more trusting, more expressive. She doesn't have to demand attention or chase connection because your energy already provides it. She feels loved not through words alone, but through your consistent awareness. That is what emotional presence does. It doesn't just make her love you,